but he's an outstanding member of the United States House of Representatives from our California's 29th District. And he serves on many committees, but one is the Committee on Appropriations, a subcommittee of which deals with commerce, justice, science, and related agencies. He's long been concerned with human rights issues, especially in Glendale, where he has been a leading voice for Armenian Americans in the persecutions of the Armenians. It is wonderful to have someone who is always accessible and listening to the needs and the concerns of the citizens he serves. He's a model congressman, in my opinion, because he does just that. It's a great pleasure to introduce to you Congressman Adam Schiff.
Judge, thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to join you, and Mr. Mayor, thank you for your wonderful introductory welcome this evening, and Chief, it's great to see you too. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a delight to join you this evening to discuss the oppression of the Baha'i community in Iran. And at the outset, I want to thank the Western Justice Center for sponsoring this meeting and for all the important work that they do in our community and beyond. One of the truly inspiring things about representing this part of Los Angeles County is the incredible diversity of our community. It is connected with virtually every corner of the globe, and events thousands of miles away prompt our concern every day. However, even as our world grows smaller and becomes more difficult for governments to repress their people without the knowledge of the rest of the world, the struggle for human rights, especially the core rights of freedom from the most arbitrary arrest and punishment, freedom of expression and freedom of religion, remain an uphill struggle for hundreds of millions of people around the world. In addition, the global recession has increased competition for jobs and resources and will stymie efforts to increase opportunity for minority groups and women around the world as well. This will exacerbate a disturbing trend identified by human rights campaigners, including Freedom House, which reported this year that 2008 marked the third year in a row in which global freedom suffered a decline. In the next few minutes, I wanted to give a quick overview of the situation faced by the Baha'i in Iran, discuss the status of the proceedings against the 7 defendants, and also try to place their plight within the broader context of Iran's ongoing political crisis. Overall, things are getting worse for Iran's religious minorities. As Richard Land, a member of the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, told Voice of America this spring, government rhetoric and action worsened conditions for nearly all non-Shia religious groups over the last year, most notably for the Baha'i, as well as Sufi Muslims, evangelical Christians, and members of the Jewish community. Under the Islamic Republic's constitution, Shia Islam is the state religion, and all laws and regulations must be based on Islamic criteria. The Constitution also nominally protects other Islamic denominations, as well as Zoroastrianism, Christianity, and Judaism. However, the government severely restricts the practice of other religions, particularly the Baha'i faith, which Iranian authorities view as apostasy. The Iranian government prevents Baha'is from practicing their religion by closing places of worship. Baha'is are forbidden from teaching or practicing their religious beliefs and from maintaining links with their co-religionists abroad. Baha'is are often charged with espionage on behalf of Zionism, in part due to the fact that the Baha'i headquarters is located in Israel. Baha'is are also barred from government and military leadership posts, the social pension system, and public schools and universities, unless they conceal their faith. Iranian courts deny Baha'is the right to inherit property and refuse to recognize Baha'i marriages or divorces. According to the law, Baha'i blood is considered mubah, meaning Baha'is may be killed with impunity. The government repeatedly pressures Baha'is to recant their religious beliefs in exchange for relief from mistreatment. Iranian authorities also use the media and the mosque to stir up anti-Baha'i sentiment, including a series of negative and defamatory articles over the past year in Kayan, a government-affiliated newspaper whose managing editor was appointed by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. The national daily Etmandad and several provincial newspapers have also published articles very critical of Baha'is. Following an explosion in April 2008 at a mosque in Shiraz, whose prayers leader was known to condemn Baha'is and Salafis in sermons, the prayer leader suggested Baha'i involvement in the bombing. News reports in May of last year cited the Friday prayers leader of the city of Mashhad calling for the execution of arrested Baha'is. Radio and television broadcasts consistently condemn the Baha'is and their religious beliefs and are clearly intended to arouse public suspicion, distrust, and hatred for the Baha'i community. Of greatest concern to Baha'is is the continued detention and the pending trial of 7 Baha'i leaders, 6 of whom were arrested in May 2008, while 1 was taken into custody earlier last year. They're leaders of the National Organization of Baha'is, a group that operates in the absence of the normal Baha'i practice of having a national spiritual assembly. The 7 Baha'i leaders, and I won't do their names justice, but their names bear mention because it's important that we understand these 7 as individuals and not merely as a group of 7. Behruz Tavakoli, Saeed Rizai, Fariba Kamalabadi, Wahid Tisfam, Jamaladdin Khanjani, Afif Naimi, and Mahvash Sabet have been charged with a variety of crimes, according to Iranian news reports. They include espionage on behalf of Israel, propaganda against the system, insulting religious sanctuaries, and being corrupt on earth, a charge that's punishable by death.